Hi students, I wish you a very good morning and welcome back our online class Maths 8th standard. Students, you know very well, due to pandemic situation that school has been closed and today onwards will start our education through online. Yes, so I hope everybody will cooperate and everybody will give focus about your education as usual offline. So students, anyway you have completed your third unit test. Yes, okay. So today we are going to learn a new chapter, that is 13th chapter. Yes, compound interest. Students, do you know what is that interest? Yes, of course you have heard that the term interest. Yes, students, whenever your parents or you have heard your uncles or anybody, you have heard maybe that words, they are collecting that interest, or you have heard some banks they are giving that loans. Instead of that we are giving some extra fee and we are paying some extra fees on that borrowed money. So that extra fees is generally called as interest. Okay students, so what is that interest, what are the types of interest, today we will learn in this video. Students, first of all we should get that idea, what is the interest. Interest means one extra fees, okay, extra amount we should pay by using the borrowed money. I mean to say that, suppose if your parents or you will, suppose you should think yourself, you will borrow some amounts, some money from your friends. So after term, after 1 year, after 2 years, after 3 years, you have to return that principal amount or the whatever that amount you have brought, and with that some extra amount you are also retaining. So that extra amount or extra fee is called as interest. Did you get that? What is that interest? Yes, interest means we are using that whatever that borrowed money, for that we have to pay some extra amount to that person, to that from where you have brought that amount. Okay, so this interest generally two types, one is simple interest, second one is a compound interest. So simple interest already you have studied in that previous classes, I mean 7th standard. So what do you mean by simple interest? Simple interest, how we should find out, today we will discuss, and we have to get that idea how to find out that simple interest for a particular sum or particular amount. Okay, so let me explain about the students what is the simple interest, how we should find out that, how to calculate that simple interest for a particular amount. So students, observe that suppose if you borrowed some amounts from others, then you have to pay some extra amount. But simple interest means it is calculated on the principal only. Okay, at the end of the term or at end of that years, means 5 years or whatever that, how many years you have kept or how many months you have kept with you, after that finish, whenever you will return at the particular time, you have to calculate the interest on a principal only. So that is called as a simple interest. Okay, but compound interest we cannot calculate on the principal only, because according to the terms, that compound interest we have to calculate. Okay, did you understand? Okay, so let us see first of all compound interest we will discuss in that next video. Today we will learn about that, specially what is that simple interest. So before that, let us see what is that interest and what are that formula, and I will give one example also, we can discuss. So see students, first of all get that interest. It is a fee which we pay for use for borrowed money. I told you one extra fee we are paying. Okay, some money we are extra for that. You have, suppose you have borrowed 10,000 or you have a loan from the bank 10,000. Okay, after the 1 year or after 2 years you have to return that money. So for that 10,000 you don't have to return, you have to return 10,000 with some interest rate, so whatever that extra amount, that is called as what is that? Interest. Okay, so extra fee, whatever extra fee we are that paying that for borrowed money, special, that is called as what is that? Interest. Now what is that? Principal. Now the borrowed amount is called principal. What do you mean by it? Principal? Principal means whatever the amount, or what is the sum, SUM, sum means that whatever the amount you have brought from others, that is generally called as a principal. Okay, and that principal of you have to calculate some extra fee, that is called as a simple interest. Okay, so now we'll discuss the students. Already I have told that interest are there general two types. There are two types of interest. One is a simple interest, another one is a compound interest. Are you clear, students? So simple interest means what is that? Simple interest means, students, we have to calculate that extra amount only on the principal. Whatever that amount you have brought after 5 years or 3 years or 10 years, whatever the term you have kept that money, at the finally you have to calculate. Okay, so that is simple interest. But compound interest we don't want to do like that way. We have to use also amount after that interest, every term wise that we have to calculate. So now let us see that what is that simple interest. सिंपल इंटरेस्ट क्या होता, व्हाट डू इन बाय सिंपल इंटरेस्ट? बच्चे सिंपल इंटरेस्ट कैसे होता? ऑलरेडी आई हैव टोल्ड, प्रिंसिपल का ऊपर वो कैलकुलेट होता. ठीक है, सो लेट अस सी सिंपल इंटरेस्ट इज कैलकुलेटेड ओनली द प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट. सिंपल इंटरेस्ट क्या होता ना, सिंपल इंटरेस्ट ओनली वी कैन कैलकुलेट ऑन द प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट. मीन्स सपोज इफ यू हैव टेकन दैट 10,000, suppose that on this 10,000 only we have to calculate that interest. If you will get that 300 interest, then you have to return 10,300 you have to get back. We have to return to that person or from the bank where you have loaned or you have borrowed. Okay, so for that we can use that one formula, that is simple interest. How to calculate, how you should find out that simple interest? For that there is one formula, PTR by 100. PTR by 100. What do you mean by PTR? PTR, P for principal, I have written that here, students. P for principal, T for time in years, for annum we can say also. Annum means also that is called as a, what is that? Year. And what is that? R? R is a rate of interest. Are you clear, students? So P for principal, T for time in year, and R for rate of interest. So how to find out that, how to calculate that simple interest? Now PTR by 100. Are you clear, students? PTR by 100. This is for that formula to calculate how the simple interest. Okay, students. So now we can discuss the students how to find out that. For one example we can take. Have you written this? Okay. So now look at the students, we can see that how to find out that simple interest. Okay, for one particular sum or particular principal and particular time given and rate of interest also given, how to find out that simple interest. For example, one example we can take the students. Okay, for example, principal given to you. What is that? How much principal? Now principal is equal to 10,000. Given the principal 10,000. Okay, so rate of interest that is R is equal to 5%, and a time also given for you. Time is equal to 5 years. Okay, so what is that simple interest, or I is equal to how much? I means simple interest. Try to understand, students. Principal given, principal means whatever that borrowed amount. Rate of interest given, that is the 5%. Rate of interest means for 100 how much rupees extra you have to pay. Now if you have taken suppose 100 rupees, then how much you have to pay extra. If you will take that suppose 5% is there, means 100 में 5 rupees you have to give interest. Okay, How much time? 5 years. Students, very carefully remember that, students, it will give in the question also annum. Annum means per years. Annum means here in your question also it will give per annum. Matlab you have to understand annum means per year. Okay? So now students, if it is question given also sometime 5 months or 4 months it has given to you. 4 months. 4 months how to find out that? So always you have to calculate whenever that simple interest formula you are PTR by 100 you are using. At that time you have to use that time whatever that it has given, that must be used in years. Very carefully you have to remember, don't do mistakes. If it is given 4 months, then also you have to convert it in years. Okay? Kaise? How you should do? Now 4 by 12 years you can do. Okay? If you, because we know that 1 year is equal to 12 months. So if you divide it by 12, then it will become as a years. So if you simplify 4 1 ja 4 3 ja, that means instead of 4 months we can write 1 by 3 years. We can write it for the time purposes, we can write 1 by 3. Are you clear? Means if it has given to you month, the time is given in 5 months, 7 months, 10 months or 12, 18 months or 20 months, like that it has given, you must divide it by 12 and write down that. If you will make possible simplest form, that is very better. Otherwise just divide it by 12. Okay? So now we have to convert, that means year. Okay? Now we have to find out this example, we can solve it. Principal given 10,000, rate of interest given 5%, time given 5 years. What is that interest? We know that, students, I is equal to, or simple interest is equal to PTR by 100. Okay? So now put that value, P for principal 10,000. Sorry, 10,000. What is the time? Time is equal to 5 years. So 5. And the rate of interest is equal to 5 by 100. Okay? Now here double zero you can do cancel. So now over. Now how much here remain? 100. So is equal to 100 into 5 5 is 25 is equal to 2500. That means 2500 is interest. Okay? So now how much you have to amount, how much you have to find out. Okay, students? So this is the formula for that interest we got. So now what is that? Hence the simple interest is equal to how much? 2500. So how much money he want to return that to that borrowed person, to him, where did he get? Okay? How much he want to return? Now you have to write down that amount. Amount means, you should remember that, students, amount is equal to principal plus interest. Principal plus interest. Okay? This is also one of the formula. You have to remember the, students, all formula. Principal plus interest. Okay? So now we get, what is that amount? How much we will get that amount? We can write that amount is equal to, we can write here, A is equal to principal plus I. Okay? Short, if you short symbolically, you can write P plus I. P is equal to how much? 10,000, and I is equal to how much we got? 2500. Okay? So now if you add, we will get 12,500 is that answer. So that means, see, how much money he want to return after how much year? 5 years. That means 10,000 he borrowed, and at the rate of interest 5 years after he want to return to that person or to the bank, from where did he get? So how much he want to return? Actually he wants to return 12,500. But how much he has taken? He has taken only 10,000. But he is returning 12,500. That means extra how much? 2,500. Why did he pay that extra amount? Because he borrowed and used that money. That's why some extra amount he is retaining. That extra amount, how you should calculate? By the rate of interest, by the time and the principal. That if you will multiply, and like that formula with if you will use, then we can calculate how much interest you want to return. There is one condition. Okay, students, I hope you have understand about that simple interest. Already you have studied in that previous classes, I mean 7th standard. So same like students in your parents, they sometimes they will say calculate that this amount, about that how much interest is there. You should do your applications or these problems and use in your day-to-day life. Thank you all of you. Have a nice day.